times with your screen freezing, just let me know. Um, Sometimes I won't catch it that it's frozen and it looks fine to me on my end, but then I'll get a message. Somebody will comment saying that the screen is frozen. So just beware of that. Um, so thank you. Good morning, Mark, for joining in. Kisses, Alif, thank you. Hi there, Christina. Thanks for joining in. You can see and hear loud and clear? Excellent. Happy Saturday, everybody. Let me go grab my coffee. I'll be right back. Hang in there. It's not too many steps away because there's only, it's only 29 feet from the front to the back of the walking space in the RV. So that is easily transversed. So, all right, now I have my coffee. I'm ready to chat. So good morning, Michael. Thank you for jumping back in on your platform to let me know that it is working good. Hi there, Jim. Welcome. Thank you. Let's see who we have in here. Ethan is here, as well as Emerson. Thank you for joining my live. You have Mary Burke live in the RV, and it's coffee time, chat time. Recapping some of the stuff that I have done this week here on the farm. I am still, I had lots of wood. I spent the 21 roses. Thank you, user, for my roses. Oh my goodness. Yes, oh, and 3 roses. So let's see how many, yes. So what's that, 24 roses altogether. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have a whole room full of roses. Let me turn this AC off, or we will be fighting the AC the whole time. Hi there, Chris from Cleveland. Thanks for joining in. Thank you for thinking I'm fashionable. I went with a bandana style halter today and my short alls. A lot of times people ask, I'll say I'm wearing short alls. Hold on. It's gonna take a second for that AC to kick off. So a lot of people will ask, what are short alls? Well, I'm wearing short alls. That's what they are. They're like overalls, except for they're shorts, not over. They're not long pants. They're shorts. So I call those short alls, not overalls. So oftentimes, if you're looking for purchasing overalls or short alls, if you put short alls in, that's what they'll come up with. I believe this brand is Levi. These ones, yeah, these are Levi's. So most of the ones that you're gonna come across that I wear, the most durable of the bunch has been oddly Old Navy. They're very reliable, and the clasps don't break or anything. Now I do have other brands. I have long overalls that are Carhartts. I am barefoot at the moment. Yes, somebody asked if I was barefoot. Then I also have We the People, I believe, or is it Free People? I forget which one. And then I think it's both. And then I have Levi's. So those are the main brands that I would wear. I don't represent any of those, so there's no affiliation, zero affiliation. I just know what works well, as far as what holds up really well. So thank you for joining in. Where's my sweet white dog? She is out getting muddy at the moment. It is quite overcast here today, so I will be working in the pole barn again. Both the RV and the workstation that I have set up for working with my wood is in the pole barn. The pole barn is 60 feet long, so it can hold a lot. It holds most of the vehicles, my toys, the side-bys, the four-wheelers, my Jeep, oftentimes the tractor, but I did move the tractor out so I would have room to be able to work with my wood all day long. So lots and lots of wood work for me today. I've also been working on the flooring. The flooring is near complete. I had to send some crew out to the store to get one more box of flooring. I was this short I was a couple of boards short of, or a couple of planks short, I guess, of completing inside the closet of the master bath. And yes. So as a result, I had to, um, I had to have someone run out to the store for me to get more. So, thank you for joining in. Thank you. Now I'm up to 29 roses. Thank you so much. Now, user, it just says user. You haven't said your name, so I can't thank you properly. I could just say user so-and-so. Thank you for my roses. Thank you for being a title gifter. I got 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 35, 36 more roses. You're going to fill up this whole walkway with roses, aren't you? Zane, all right, Zane, thank you so much for all my roses. That's fantastic. You like this shirt? It was just from Amazon. It's a halter top, ties in the middle, and it is a just a bandana style. Brazil is in the house. Bruno's from Brazil. Thank you. Thank you for joining in. Dominus, thank you for joining in. I do appreciate you being here. Misa, thanks for joining in. I appreciate you being here. Fantastic. Thank you, Mike, for liking the outfit. Hi there, Sava Jack. Thank you so more. Or Igor. Or Igor. Depending on how you say that. Igor or Igor. I have lovely eyebrows. Thank you. They're all mine. I don't need to color them or anything. I just maintain them. So I've been fortunate in that respect that I do not need to use any of that brow pencil. You love my necklace. Thank you for liking my necklace. This necklace is near and dear to me. I had a design in mind, and I went to several jewelers to see if they would make it for me. And when they wouldn't, I bought the pieces myself and did it myself. I actually cut the paper clip link and installed. I bought the carabiner separately that opens, and so I can change out the charms anytime I want on it. Right now I am wearing the compass rose. Depending on the time of year, I might switch it to be my 4-leaf clover, or I also, is it raining? It might be raining out. I can't really hear. Normally it's louder, but it might be that fine mist or shower. I also have like a lock and key. I have lots of different charms that I usually change that out with. Thank you for liking my outfit and thinking that I look pretty, Skyla. I appreciate that. I'm happy that you're here with me this morning, Mr. Sky Blue. Thank you for joining in. And Sofa King, thanks for joining in. I do appreciate you being here. Adolfo is here. Lots of people chiming in. And I hope you have your coffee or your morning beverage of choice. Now, I was chatting with somebody, and it's Australia. So in Australia, good evening. So I know that it's evening there. England, it's afternoon time, right? So it's 9 plus 8. So it's in the afternoon sometime. Oh, 7 out, 7, or it's actually probably only 6-hour difference. Anyway, 6 or 7 hour difference with the daylight savings. And I am in Central Time Zone, so that always screws me up. I'm used to East Coast Time Zone. When I'm in the Central Time Zone, I always have to give myself another hour. Los Angeles is in the house. Thank you for joining in. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You have carabiner earrings. Oh, that's interesting. So you can you add charms to your earrings, Christina? You follow me on on my X account. Excellent. I hope you have the right one, because I do because that X account is excellent in being able to get rid of the fakes. I'm able to submit verification and get those fakes taken care of. So I have had a couple of people saying, like, what happened to your account? And there's nothing wrong with my account. It's that you were following a fake Mary and I was able to get them thrown off. So it's a thing. It's a thing. Like TikTok, I took a snapshot of all the pages of fake Marys that I had blocked. And that was 24 pages of live accounts that I have reported and blocked multiple times, and they don't take them down. They don't find any community violation for me reporting them as me saying that they are indeed a fake. And they haven't come back to me and said, hey, can you give any additional verification that it's you, which I obviously would provide. And be very careful. On Facebook, I found out with the fake Marys that someone has faked a license, and they hold it like this, don't show themselves. You can see their nails, which are not my nails. And you can see the fake ID, which does have a picture, a stock photo of me that is superimposed on it, but the person's name is Lou that signed it, Lou, and the information on there is all fake. So, ooh, thank you. I got a friendship necklace. Thank you so much from Ziki. Thank you for my friendship necklace. I do appreciate that. Yes. Thank you for joining in. You've got Mary Burke Live. Thank you for liking the RV and the way that it looks. I try to make it as homey and comfortable as possible. This is a jackknife couch, which I have made so that I can sit on it like, just like a seat or a platform. Sometimes I find that jackknife is a little too ramrod straight, so it doesn't really give you the ability to kind of sit back and relax. So I usually have it in that position. So thank you for joining in. You've got Mary Burke Live. If I am doing wonderful. I can't pronounce your name. It's in a different language, but thank you so much for asking. It is a rainy. Is it raining? Hold on. Let me check. Nope. Okay, so it's still just overcast. It is very overcast here in southeast Alabama, and it does look like it is going to rain any second now. And I did have reports of rain. So I do have my wood all covered underneath the pole barn in order for me to do my woodworking today. Today we'll be sanding and polyurethaning all the 4-inch wide, they're 8 foot long, strips of wood for all the door frames. So custom, I do custom work. So all the custom work will be the door frames, then the door jambs. I will build the doors. So maybe later today I'll start building the doors. Right now I only have 2 doors. I'll have to order some more. They come in already pre-measured, but I tell them what width and I want for the doors. But then it's an assemble yourself and stain it yourself. So what I did up at the cabin, if you've been following me for a while, you'll have seen that up at the cabin, I took a torch and burned the pine doors because it's just a yellow, really white yellow pine door. So what I did was I burned the door, I scorched the door so it brings out the character of the wood grains, and then after that I stain it, and then once I've stained it I then go back and wipe off the excess so it just gives a hint of that color, and then after that I then polyurethane it to seal it. So I will also have to do some measurements. My doors are not 84 high, so with that I have to cut off the tops and the bottoms equally to make sure that the door will sit correctly in the jamb. Then I build the jamb myself. The thresholds are done myself, all with the cedar wood that I use. I save the scraps, use that for the jambs. I use that for the thresholds. I'll use brass screws to tie it to the floor, to screw it to the floor. So all that, and I'll use the DeWalt finish nailer to tack in all the woodwork once it's done. Now I've already ripped the boards for the insides of the door frame. So my headers and my side stiles are already in, but now I have to do so when you actually build that door, for each door, it has 3 pieces of wood that are about 79, 80, depending on the height of your door, inches long. So you need a lot of long wood. So each one of those, so each side will have 3. So so that's 6 for each. So it's, for both sides, it's going to be 6. Plus you have to wrap the top, which is also 3, but those are going to be shorter. They'll be 30 inches, 32 inches, 24 inches, whatever size your door is. So I have 2 closets and 2 doors for the master. So that is gonna, so I'll need a total of 4 doors. Right now I only have 2. So I'll have to order more once I get the dimensions, which will be later today. I'll order the doors so that I can build those next week. Thank you. Sorry, I went off on a tangent telling you about what's happening here at the farm during the renovation. So lots of stuff going on. Still no rain. I'm waiting for that rain to hit. Thank you for joining in. You've got Mary Burke Live. So make sure that you hit follow, like, subscribe, join, all of the above. And thank you to everybody that has given me gifts and hearts so far this morning. Oh, let me get I need to get something to put my coffee on so I can also talk with my hands. If you haven't noticed that, I like to talk with my hands. So if you have any questions, you can certainly, I didn't answer you, Mark. I'm so sorry I missed your question then. You can certainly bring out your question and I will try to answer you. For everybody that's just joining me, thank you for joining Mary Burke Live. So, now I'm waiting for your question, Mark. Where is it? And I'm waiting for it to scroll up. Do I stream on other sites? Yes, I do stream. My main sites that I stream on are YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Those ones are the main ones that I stream on. There's a couple of others that I will stream on as well, but those are much more rare for me to do that. Am I working on the gym? I am not currently work. Do I work out in the gym? I have workstations. I know, be careful with the doors and the humidity. Correct. With the wood doors, you don't want to, wood will swell. So with that wood, right now I'm working with planks. So that should be fine. But wood will swell and contract depending on the heat and the humidity or the coolness. So it will shrink in the wintertime when it gets cold, and it will expand in the heat. So I'm still waiting for Mark's question. I still have not seen that question. If you write to me in another language, I won't be able to answer you. I do not speak Korean. Thanks for asking if I do. I do not. And if you're asking what my heritage is, no, I am not Korean. I am, my ancestry is predominantly Irish. Mark, that is the reason I asked you that. Okay, that is the reason you asked me that, but I don't know what you're asking. I still don't know what you're asking. This is a live broadcast? Yes, this is a live broadcast, and I'm answering your questions. The, where was I? My ancestry, predominantly Irish. Thank you, Shersman, for joining in. Yes, my coffee mug is right here. But it is also Scottish, English, a tiny bit Germanic, even smaller Welsh, and 7% Norwegian. But 100% American, because I was born and raised here. I'm 7 generations in on American Irish. So thank you for joining in. Yes, I stream on all different sites. The best thing for you to do, if you say you didn't know I was on other social media, the best thing for you to do is hit follow, like, subscribe, in order for you to be able to, thank you. I'm gonna just go like that and like that. Make sure everything is scrolling, because oftentimes I have issues with that. I don't know why I'm in black and white now. I hate when that happens. There we go. Now I'm in color. Okay. touch a screen and it ends up doing something funky. So, yeah, it's still doing something funky there. There we go. All right. So, what do you need to know, Mark? Again, I keep missing your actual question. I'm so sorry. Hi there, Michael. Thanks for joining in. I will pay attention. I promise. I will pay attention and see how quick it is for that question. You're predominantly Native American with Scottish, Norwegian, and Irish. All right, Christina. Fantastic. Thank you for liking the way that I'm looking this morning. I do appreciate that. I'm still waiting on Mark's question. All right. Hi there, Mario. Thanks for joining in. Hi there, Jose. Thanks for joining in. If you write to me in another language, I will not be able to understand it. I appreciate the sentiment, but I won't be able to do that. So the best way to find me is to go to my profile page and go to TheMaryBurke.com in order to find out all the different social medias that I am on. So I do post similar but different stuff on each one of those platforms. So you're not going to get the exact same post. So that's another reason, because sometimes I might put part 1 on one site and then part 2 on another site. I don't necessarily string them all together. So yeah, I keep it interesting for you, right? I still haven't had Mark's question pop up, so I don't know what the actual question is. You're a mix of European, Irish, and Scottish. Fantastic. I'm doing great, Iceman. Thanks for asking, and thanks for all your hearts. I love when I get hearts. That's fantastic. I get heart crowns. I love when that happens too. I can't thank you for joining in, but I think you wrote to me in another language. I'm not going to be able to know that. Hi there, Michael from North Carolina. Thanks for joining in. William has a question. What's your question, William? Hi, Larry. Thanks for joining in. Hi, Luke. Thanks for joining in. Good morning, David. Happy Saturday to you. I'm hoping that you are having a wonderful day. Thanks for thinking I'm fantastic, Iceman. I do appreciate that. AV asks how old I am. Oh, now I got a heart crown. Thank you so much. Ooh. I am in my fantastic 50s. So that is as close as you're going to get. Have I ever traveled to the West Indies? No, I have not. Thank you for my gift. I do appreciate that. Sergey just joined in. Thank you so much for joining in, Sergey. Taiwan is in the house. Thank you for joining in. Christian is watching. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for liking my live. I do appreciate you being here. William asked, why do I do this? I am a content creator. Why do any content creators create content? So I bring you a slice of my life. So a lot of people like the farm. So they like when I'm out with Mavis or Arnie or watching the renovation projects that I do. I have, if you have been following me long enough, I think YouTube is the one that I've had the longest. And you can go back from when I first purchased the farm and see one of my first videos that went viral, making a rain collection watering system here on the farm. And that video went viral, so then I started showing you all the projects that I was doing around the farm. And I give you tips, tricks, and hacks along the way, things that I have learned here at the farm, as well as throughout my adult life, as far as what, anyways, lost my train of thought. Somebody else asked if I was born and raised on a farm. No, I was not born and raised on a farm. I was born in a smaller sized city in the Northeast United States. Now, my family did have a small garden growing up. Every summer, we did carrots, both green beans, yellow beans, zucchini, summer squash, and butternut squash. There were some other things in there, maybe some radishes and some strawberries as well. But those were the main things. But it was, and a couple of tomato plants. But that was it. But that was, but no, I grew up, I was a city girl growing up. So, hi there, Brian. Thanks for joining in. Hi, Jonathan. Thanks for joining in. I said what? I don't know what I said. So, tractor's going. So we got the work crew has started. This work crew has started here. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for liking my tan. I am out in the sun a lot of the time, outside work, either working on the tractor that just started up, or working around doing some landscaping projects, or working in the garden. Now, that being said, I do take care of my skin. I do use sunscreen. I use at least 30 sunscreen every day. I start that. Am I the farmer's daughter? Well, my father did have a small garden growing up, so I guess so. Thank you. Brazil is in the house. Thank you for joining in. Hi there, Michael. Lulu, thanks for joining in. Hi, Bradley. Thanks for joining in. I do appreciate you being here. Matt is here. Thank you, Joe, for liking the way that I have put together my outfit today. Thank you so much for being here. So if you have a question, certainly you can ask, because this is the chat where I'm going through what I have accomplished so far this week and what I still have slated for the rest of the weekend, what I'm trying to get accomplished. I look different today. I don't know, am I wearing my hair down? I usually, in this heat, I usually have my hair up in a ponytail. So I don't know if that's it. Usually I have it back and in a ponytail, like such. But with it being cooler, it is much cooler with it being cloudy, so I don't have to wear it down. Now, once the humidity comes in and my hair gets really puffy, you'll see my hair does that poof as soon as it starts to rain, so you will see me put my hair up real quick. Somebody asks if I am married. Yes, I am married and have been married for almost 30 years. Somebody else asks how old I am. I am in my fantastic 50s. So you give up? Why do you give up, Dwayne? Don't give up. Do the viral transparent stuff. I will tell you this, for whatever reason, some people can get away with wearing next to nothing. I mean, completely transparent, and it stays up. Or maybe it gets taken down and they just open new accounts. I don't want to have to do that. Okay, so I like my account the way that it is, and I adhere to the guidelines that each one of the platforms requires. So what the content that I put out will be spicier on X than it will be on Y, and it will be much more tamed down for Facebook or for TikTok or whatever, because between the Karens and their visual facial recognition or body awareness recognition, they'll flag something right off the bat. So I have learned that that exactly what I can and cannot do on each one of those platforms. So transparent is not going to be one of them. If I were to wear transparent, I did a live where I did a try-on haul, and it was cover-ups, but I had a bikini on underneath, so that's the only way that that's going to happen. I make any outfit look good. Thank you, Joe. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate you being here. You're traveling around Boston. All right, seeing friends. Boston is my old stomping grounds. That's a lot of fun. Now it's been 30 years since I've been up there, so it'll be, I don't remember exactly at all, but I was born and raised in Massachusetts. Does my back hurt? Never. I work out. I work out. Strength in my back. Yes, strength in my back. I work out so that my arms, my chest, my back, my legs, they're all healthy. Good morning, good morning. Hi there, Jim. Thanks for joining in. Am I married? Mariah Manish asks. Yes, I am married. So, thank you for joining in. I do appreciate you being here. Thank you for thinking I look stronger. That's the only way to stay fit. You have to, I do work and work out around the farm. So before, I do workouts as well as general lifting. The feed bags for the animals that I go and get, they're usually 50 pounds a piece. So you have to be strong enough to be able to lift that 50 pounds. And the only way that works is if you work out doing that. If I didn't work out and have the musculature to be able to do that, then yes, I could hurt myself. So, your grandmother has this RV? She has an east to west Entrada? This is a classy motorhome. It's not a pull behind, it's not a toy hauler. It's not a fifth wheel. It is actually has the motor attached to it. It is a Ford 450 up front, and then the rest of the cabin. So thanks for liking my positive attitude. I try to instill that upon you, bring you a smile every day or a chuckle when the animals do something funny or I do something funny. Sometimes I'd show you my bloopers. Thank you for my roses, Nico. They smell so sweet. Thank you. Thanks for, hi there, Tim. Hi there, Peter. Thank you for thinking I'm beautiful. Wasn't I on MTV? No, I've never been on MTV. Nico, it's a cold winter's day. So you must be on the other side of the world. Are you in like in Australia? It's there where it's our summertime. It's their winter time. Thank you, Michael, for thinking I look beautiful. Hi there, Xavier. I love everybody except the Karens. And even the Karens, hey, you're helping my matrix. So paid away. Thank you, Stack, for joining in. I've got a lot of people just joining in. You've got Mary Burke live. So I'm going to wait for everybody to jump in and I will start the questions up again. So thank you for joining me. You've got Mary Burke live. This is the account to hit follow, like, subscribe, join, all of the above. You can comment or ask questions because it is a chat today. I am just sitting down having my coffee and chatting with you, talking about what I have accomplished this past week. You can ask your questions, and once you hit follow or subscribe, then you can also go to my profile page, which is going to bring you to TheMaryBurke.com, and then you can see all my different social medias so that you can follow me on multiple platforms. And why would you do that? You would follow me on multiple platforms because I post similar but not the same content on each one, and each one is going to vary depending on each one of their guidelines. I need a refill on that coffee. So this is my coffee mug. It's actually a soup mug. So here in the RV, which is where I'm broadcasting from, I try to minimize the stuff that I carry with me. So not only is it a coffee mug, but it's also a soup mug that comes with a cover. You can get it from Amazon. It's about 20 ounces. I only use about 12 ounces of coffee in there, of which I've had about half of that. So I have half a cup to go. So thank you so much for being here. Petty check, I am in need of a pedicure. So yes, I'm barefoot, but I am in need of a pedicure, or at least a polish change. So I do gel polish, but once it starts to lift and peels off, it's definitely time for me to go back. So stay tuned, there'll be a new color change coming up this week sometime. Hello from India. Thanks for joining in. I do appreciate you being here. Yes, the items that I carry in my RV, somebody asked, or how important are the things that you carry in the RV. The RV is so small that it is very important that you carry things that can have multiple uses. Absolutely. So, for instance, my coffee mug can also be a soup mug. The cutting boards are paper thin so that I can have multiple, I can stack multiple things. I only have a very small collection. Thank you for my roses. I do appreciate that. Blue Goose and Raphael, thank you for my roses. New York City is in the house. Thank you for joining in. Somebody asked why my profile picture is so important. It depends on, you tend to keep my profile pictures pretty consistent, and all the fakes will join in and copy them. And then when I find out that I have so many that are of the same kind, I might switch it out so that you can tell. There's so many fake Marys out there. There are so many fake Marys. So, jumping jacks. I will be doing jumping jacks throughout the day. A lot of sidewood movement yesterday, so I definitely did a lot of sidewood mobility as I was sanding and polyurethaning the wood. So I did a lot of woodwork yesterday. I was working with wood. Have I been to New York lately? I have not been to New York. So if you're on Facebook and it shows New York in the background, that's not me. It shows the Statue of Liberty in the background as the cover. Definitely not me. That's the big. It's been 10, at least 10 years. At least 10 years since I've been to New York City, since I've been to Manhattan. Am I any good at cooking? I manage. That's why I like HelloFresh. They send me all the ingredients and the recipe. I can follow a recipe and make it taste good. So, but ask me to cook it on my own. There's only a few things that I really can do without any recipe, following the recipe, that I've been doing them for years. There's an old family recipe for chocolate squares. I make those, and even that I drag out the recipe card for that. But that's been in the family for generations. So, somebody says that they're a poor man, and William, and how did I get rich? Well, I worked hard. I worked very hard, and I've been fortunate to be able to do things that I loved. So when I was younger, I was a professional figure skater and got to tour the world being a professional figure skater. I did not make a lot of money doing that, but it did afford me the ability to go to places I would never have been able to go to. When I came back from that, my education had been in finance. So I worked for companies in finance, and then from there I worked different jobs, and then was able to work for a Fortune 500 company. So then I worked for that company for a number of years, and when COVID hit, I was able to, at that point, I could afford to retire early, which is what I did, and now I've moved on to being a content creator, which I still have a source of income. So there you go. It's just finding what you like and being dedicated and consistent to, and if you're in a bad situation, you have the power, you have the control. It's your life. Make a change. Change is scary, but you can't be afraid of it. Okay? You gotta do it. You gotta do it. So that's my advice. Do I cook gluten-free meals? God, no. Those taste terrible. Have I done that? Yes, and it tastes terrible. I will not sacrifice that. And I'm not allergic to gluten, so I don't have a gluten allergy. So thankfully, I don't have any allergies. I don't have any food allergies. The only thing that I am allergic to is wasps and fire ants. So if I get bit by one of those, you saw Matthew McConaughey with a bee sting, with his face all swollen. Yeah, that would be me. So I would be all swollen. And I found that out with the fire ants the hard way. I was laying out, not here, it was got to be a dozen years, 20 years ago now probably. And I was laying out and a fire ant crawled up and bit me up here. And when it bit me up there, somehow it got into my system, and I broke out in hives everywhere. And I didn't have any Benadryl with me, so I had to quickly evacuate the premises, go and get some Benadryl. And that's when I learned that fire ants are related to wasps. So that if you are allergic to wasps' sting, you are going to be allergic to fire ants. So, thank you so much for joining in. You are seated in the RV with me. So somebody says, show the RV. I don't have the capability to show you the entire RV. It is 29 feet for living space front to back. However, it does have the attached motor up front in the cabin. So all told, bumper to bumper, it is 32 feet long. This is usually a jackknife couch. I've laid it out there so I can sit back comfortably and chat with you. Behind me is the dining area, and across from me is the countertop and cooking spaces. So side door, front cabin, and all the way in the back is the bathroom, shower on one side, toilet and sink on the other, as well as the bedroom cabin in the back. So I'm happy that you're here, The Butcher. I'm glad that you were able to find me. Hi there, Sergey. Thanks for joining in. You need to go to the USA, Vladimir? Hope you have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. You've got Mary Burke Live. This is the account for you to follow. Like, I've got a whole bunch of new people joining in and scrolling. So I'm going to take this time to say welcome. Welcome to my live. This is where you'll get the most up-to-date content from me, the most up-to-date updates. Jeez. And I can tell you what's happening with the farm and tell you all about my different platforms. You can shout out a question. If I see it, I will try and answer it for you. Waving, yes, waving. I can wave. So thank you again for joining in. Once you get here, you hit follow, you hit like, you hit subscribe, and then you go to my profile, TheMaryBurke.com, and you can see all the different social media platforms that I'm on. And that way you can follow me on multiple platforms, because I do post similar but different shorts, reels, content, depending on the platform and their guidelines. Good morning to you, Bill. Thanks for joining in. Hi there, William. Thanks for joining in. Daywood asks if I date. My husband would probably be upset with that. I am married and have been married for 30 years, so, or just shy, coming up on that anniversary. So it's lots of fun going on here at the farm. I'm doing renovations of the bunkhouse. It's the master bed and bath, and that's why I'm broadcasting live from the RV. So waves again, lots more people joining in and waving. Make sure that your questions are appropriate, otherwise they will be held for review. And I don't have time to be able to click on each one and review them. I do have hundreds and hundreds of people watching these lives, so I cannot simultaneously, so it's not going to be able to do that. So thank you again. Thank you, Joe, for wishing me a happy anniversary. I do appreciate that. Thank you for following me on multiple platforms, Bill. Yes, you've been on YouTube and X, so thank you so much for joining me on all my different platforms. There's more. There's TikTok, there's Instagram. Fansly, Cameo. There's a ton more that you can follow me on, and that you would have to go to TheMaryBurke.com to make sure that you're following the right one. You don't fall for the fakes. There's lots of fakes out there. The fakes, they're pretty convincing. I heard that on Facebook in particular, they will even provide a fake license, trying to tell you that they're real. And they are aggressive, from what I understand. They will reach out. I get millions and millions of views a day, 7 to 10 million views a day. So across my different platforms. So with that being said, I don't have the ability to sit there on the major platforms and send you message requests or send you friend requests. That's telltale right there. Now, if I'm live and you're like one of my top gifters, or you're a content creator yourself, I may do a follow back, but I'm not going to solicit you and say, hey, I saw your comment, hit me up. That's not me. So just beware, those are fakes. And they will try to scam you. I've heard everything from that I needed help with a car payment, my mortgage, the electric bill, they needed gift cards. So none of that is me, okay? So just none of that is me. No, they said, oh, I was chatting with you on Google Chats or Telegram, or what's the other one? Snapchat, or a Messenger. None of those. I don't even utilize those platforms. I don't go on Telegram. I don't go on, no. I don't do Google Chats. There's no Messenger. I don't even download the Messenger app because I get so many message requests. I can't even keep up with that. You'll be lucky if I heart you back and maybe comment back, and I do go through that, and I make sure that I try to reach out to people. If you write to me in another language or Mandarin or whatever that is, I am definitely not going to be able to read that. It must be English. So sorry. Same thing with writing to me in a Chilean or Spanish. I'm not gonna, or Portuguese. I'm not gonna be able to understand that. The overalls aren't going to be able to hold up. Well, I'll buy new ones if the clasp breaks. The overalls or short alls are by far the easiest and most versatile thing to be able to wear here on the farm. And here I'm just the girl next door. I go down to the country store and everybody, lots of people are wearing the short alls or overalls. And most of the guys, it's so hot out, they're not wearing shirts underneath them. I'm in a pretty rural area, so this is just what the girl next door wears, and it allows airflow. It's light, it's airy, and it's versatile because I can get all my work done in it, and it covers it. Thank you for enjoying my energy. I do try to stay positive. I keep a positive outlook on life. I try to instill that or transmit that to you, and hopefully it brings you a smile. Somebody enjoyed my energy. So I'm trying to transfer that energy to you so that you have a great day, a great weekend, a wonderful a day ahead of you. Thank you, Perry, for watching. I do appreciate that. If you write to me in Spanish, I'm not going to understand, so that's not going to help. Hola, I get hola, so I'm going to be able to say that. Hi, thank you for joining, and thank you, Frank, for liking my personality. I try to keep it real and talk to you, talk with you, not at you. So that's just the way I am. How often do I work out? Daily. Between working around the farm, which can be a workout in itself, and working out, I always have dumbbells or resistance bands or something nearby. So again, I will multitask. I will put on some resistance bands and walk the 29 feet up and back as to work my legs as I'm waiting for my coffee or getting a beverage or for water or juice. So I don't drink, very rarely do I drink sodas, and I don't drink alcoholic beverages. So, hello from Argentina. Thank you for being here. Nice porterhouse. I'm more the filet. I am definitely the filet mignon. That is definitely me. Or top sirloin type of gal. Thanks for joining in. The real you is much appreciated. Thank you, Christina. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate my fans that check in with me daily and when I go live, and and follow me on my different platforms. I do appreciate you being here and following me. I couldn't do it without you. What kind of music do I listen to? I listen to all different genres of music. I tend to lean towards classic rock, which I will put on a lot of my posts and reels. Some alternative. Sometimes I'll go with the classics. I was listening to Frank Sinatra last night, so and music from the 50s. So all different stuff. I listen to country. I listen to classical. I enjoy it all. Not so much on the jazz and the blues. I will listen to some of that. But it's not my preferred genre. But so thank you so much for being here. Jump up and down. I'm seated. Thanks. Thank you again. You love Ella Fitzgerald? Yes, beautiful voice. Yes, she had a beautiful voice, but her music is beautiful. From England, welcome. Thanks for joining in. I do appreciate that. Where am I from? Well, now that's a good question, because I was born and raised in the Northeast of the United States, and then 20 years ago I transplanted to Florida and call that home. And then 4 years ago during COVID, I purchased the farm, but wasn't able to get here and start really renovating it full time till about a year and a half ago. So I've been here in Southeast Alabama for the last year and a half, and I go back and forth between here and Florida as often as possible. Burke, thanks. Yes, that's my last name. Southeast Missouri is in the house. Thank you. Let's see who else. I got a lot of people joining in, so it's just like join. So thank you for joining in. You've got Mary Burke Live. I'm just having a coffee chat with you today, revamping or recapping. There's the word I was looking for. I knew it was recapping the events of the last week, which has been predominantly working on the renovating the guest bed and bath. Keenan asks if I am married. Yes, I am married. I am in Southeast Alabama, and I've been married for almost 30 years. I'm your dad's favorite. I'm happy to hear that. Christina. Bonjour, Renee from France. Thank you for joining in, but sadly, that's the only French that I know. So thank you. Now I got lots of scrolling. I can't keep up with the questions. So thank you for joining in. Make sure you hit follow. Make sure you hit subscribe, join, comment if you want. You can ask a question if I can answer it. Make sure it's a question that I can answer. Otherwise, it will be held for review and I won't see it. So thank you again for joining in. Claudio, if I told you I wasn't married, then you were following a fake. Because that's the ones that say that I'm single, the ones that say that I have a telegram, the ones that say that I'm lonely, the ones that say all that, those are all fake Marys. They've all stolen content and are trying to scam you. So just be careful. I'm chatting with you live. You know that I'm live and I'm talking with you. So please hit follow here. Thank you for my rose, Curly Tree. So that way you know you're following the correct, the real Mary Burke. And there's ones that will say that their IDs will say the real Mary Burke or blah blah blah. The Mary Burke. Just remember that. TheMaryBurke.com. If you're confused on what different social media platforms is actually me, you can go to my profile. You can hit TheMaryBurke.com and it'll show you. It'll list all the different social medias that I am on and which account is really me. So thank you for being here. If you write in a different language, I got a lot of people writing in different languages for me, and I cannot understand that. So whether it be Spanish or Portuguese or Mandarin or French, I'm not going to understand that. So I do appreciate you all being here and being with me today. I do. So I hope that you guys are having a wonderful Saturday. It is Saturday. The weekend has started. If you are in Australia, your Saturday is almost done. It's nighttime there. Afternoon in Europe. So I hope that everybody has, you just realized how big that mug was? Yeah, it's a big mug, isn't it, King? Yeah. This is, here in the RV, I do try to select items that have multiple uses. So this is actually a soup mug. It has a cover that you can microwave your soup in, and it also doubles as my coffee mug. So I don't use 20 ounces of coffee. I only use 12 ounces at a time, but there's my coffee in the bottom. So, and which I should drink because it's getting cold. So thank you for being here. I do appreciate you appreciate the explanation. Yes, I'm happy that you have found me, Claudio. Make sure you hit follow so you can be following the real me, right? Thank you for loving me and for joining me and for following me. If you don't follow me, you should follow me. What does my husband do for a living? He's an attorney. So he keeps all the legal stuff in motion. Thank you for letting me enjoy my coffee. I do appreciate that, Joe. I don't even know what that acronym stands for. So somebody put an acronym in there, and I don't know. Hi there, Raul. Thanks for joining in. Hi, Bonilla. Thanks for joining in. Hi, Juan. Thanks for joining in. You've got me live here in the RV. I am broadcasting live from the RV because of the renovation work up in the bunkhouse. The master bed and bath is being completely gutted, refloored, and renovated. So, and I was 3 pieces short for the inside of the closet, and so I had to I had to have one of the crew guys go out and go to the store and get the last another box. So so I wasn't able to salvage any of my pieces. I tried to salvage the pieces as well, and I didn't get any that would work. So thank you for joining in, Mikey. Thank you for being here. Hi there, Raul. Fernandez asks how tall I am. I am technically petite, 5'5" and under. I measure in at 5'4". People tend to think that I'm much taller than, even when they meet me and they ask how tall I am, it's because of the way that I carry myself. I was taught very early on about proper posture. So I do make sure that I stand tall and stand to my full 5'4". So, but you'll also see me in heels an awful lot too, if I'm not wearing my work boots. So my trademark, one of my trademarks, is that I wear my foot choice of here at the farm will always be my Timberlands. I do have high heel Timberlands for when I'm going out, but my Timberland boots are very versatile and work well here at the farm. So I can get them dirty. I can get them. Somebody was like, "Oh, they look brand new," and I'm like, these ones were already a month old and all faded. I have to silicone them every month just to make sure that I keep them as water resistant as possible. Thank you again. Now, if you can ask me a question or you comment, but make sure that they're approved or appropriate, because if they're not, they're going to be held for review and I won't see them. So. Thank you so much. Yes, Sergey, I understand. I do. I do understand. Hi there, Brahim. Thanks for joining in. Hi there, Carlos. Thanks for joining in. The Great Zimmerman has joined in. I have Kusa has joined in. A lot of people joining in. So thank you again for joining in. You've got Mary Burke live broadcasting from the RV, giving you an update for what's happening here in and around the farm. Mavis is taking care of Pearl. Pearl's growing bigger every day. Pearl has started eating the actual grains and grass. So she may be weeding off Mavis. Arnie is still in his own separate pen. He has all the chickens, and the chickens all love him. My chickens are free range. They do have a pen that they typically stay in. I do have some free wanderers that roam all over the farm. I have one that goes over to a utility shed to lay her egg every day. But then she goes back with everybody else. So, what's my favorite book? I don't know. I do tend to like, for authors, I do tend to like, see, sometimes I like John Grisham's, but sometimes I get too technical, and the movies are better. And then I like Michael Conley, and then a lot of his stuff gets made into stuff. Nicholas Sparks is too tearful. I can't, and I can't cry in a book. I want to laugh and be engaged in a book. I tend to like murder mysteries or thrillers or that sort of book. I do like some fantasy stuff. I did read the Outlander series there for a while, and that was really good. So I don't know that I have a favorite book per se. And of course, I read all the 50 Shades. I read all of those. Hi Jeff, thanks for joining in. Hi Charles, that's not the appropriate platform to ask that question. Where do I go on vacation? I love warm weather, so I will stay in warm weather areas, and I will go to tropical areas. So some of my most recent vacations, I went to Disney World. I've been recently, last year, I've been to Key West. I've been to Puerto Rico. Hawaii is on my bucket list. It's just, I'm on the East Coast. It takes a commitment, and for me to work myself up mentally for that plane ride to get over to Hawaii, but I have not been to Hawaii. I stay out of politics. Somebody asked if I like politics. I stay out of politics and religion. Those won't be discussed here. Again, I like to have everybody all on the same page and enjoy the chat. I am not a debater, and nor do I want to get drawn into debates. So I just won't. Susanna Hops and Patricia Conwell. I don't know what you're referring to there, Christina. How come I don't promote my ex? I do. However, it is, I put it on my TheMaryBurke.com. I don't actively promote it. No, it is a platform that I'm on. I will post there, but I rarely spend time on there. So I will put out some tweets, but I don't spend a lot of time there. It's not my main platform. So, so authors of good books. Thank you, Christina. Now I get it, authors of good books. All right, so I will look them up. So, oh, you don't see it on my website? I may have taken it off. I'll have to look. And I won't do that now. Kisses back, Stanister. Again, Greg, it's going to be, you have to ask questions that I will answer or that are appropriate for the platform that you are on. So, yeah, exactly. Thank you, A. Yes, no spamming. Greg, that's a quick way for you to get kicked out. Thank you for being here. Hi there, Fabrizio. Thank you for joining in. I have Italy, or someone speaking Italian. That's ciao. That's about all I know. Thank you for liking my content. When did I start enjoying construction? I have always enjoyed construction. Back in middle school, which was called junior high when I went, one of the wheel things that you had to do is you had to do a woodworking shop and a metal shop, as well as a home ec. So taking all those things, that was probably where I first got my taste of any type of construction stuff. So from there, it lay dormant for a few years, but once I got into college and out of college, and I had some sketchy, probably apartments. I had to learn how to fix things and do things. So back then, I had to buy books. They were like Time Life books on carpentry, woodworking, metal, how to do things. And I still have those books somewhere. And they're packed away now, because now I can Google it. I can go on YouTube and find stuff. But back then, I had books that I read through, and then a lot of it was helping other people. When I would have someone come and fix something, I would stand with them and be their assistant or help them out or do anything, because I didn't sit there just twiddling my thumbs. I want to know what they're doing. I want to know how they fixed it so that I don't need them the next time. I can do it myself. So, yes. So, I hate to kick people out, but I've had to get rid of somebody because they were spamming. So you can now rest assured Greg is no longer there. That doesn't mean that he won't pop up again on a different platform. Roll Tide, roll, Chris, right? Roll Tide. Bonjour, Didier. Thank you for joining in. I do appreciate you chiming in. Somebody asked what perfume, AV Fernandez asked what perfume I wear. My favorite perfume, there's a few that I will wear, but my favorite perfume, or my signature perfume, I guess you would say, would be Coco Mademoiselle by Chanel. It's not Coco, and it's not Chanel number 5. It is Coco Mademoiselle. It's a slightly softer hint flavor to it. So. Yeah, exactly. Marshall, he had to finish. Exactly. Oops, I spilled my coffee when I was banging my cup. Hold on. I need to get... There we go. Spilled my coffee. We don't want to spill the coffee. All right. Excellent. So you can ask a question here if you're just joining in. It is a chat, so you can ask a question, provided that question is appropriate for the platform. Otherwise, it will either be held under review or I will not answer you. And sometimes when you ask questions, just be patient in the sense, too, that sometimes everybody starts asking questions, and it's hard for me to keep up with the questions that were asked. So, for instance, Memphis asked where I'm from. So I was born and raised in the Northeast of the United States. 20 years ago, I transplanted to Florida and call that home. And then most recently, during COVID, I purchased the farm about 4 years ago, but only started being here full time about a year and a half ago. Thank you for loving my content. I do appreciate you being here and for following me, whether it be just here or on multiple different platforms. You can follow me across multiple platforms if you go to TheMaryBurke.com, and you can check out my different profiles that are there. And then those will be the actual accounts, because there's so many fakes out there. You know, somebody said, oh, it's good to see you again, whatever. That's because they were following a fake, and the fake was taken down. I have such glowing skin. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I just moisturize. That's it. Moisturize. And protect myself with sunscreen every day. So between those two, I try to stay youthful. As youthful as. Where is the farm at? Memphis asks. That is in southeast Alabama. So, thanks for loving me from Argentina. I have not been to Argentina. I've been to Venezuela. I've been to Colombia. I've been to Mexico. I've been to as far as South America and Mexico. That's where I've been. Hi there, Maria. Thanks for joining in. I do appreciate you being here. Thank you for following me on X, Chris. I do appreciate that. I have not been to Istanbul. Hi there, King. How are you? Do I have a favorite color? Asks Earthworld. I do. I have a series of favorite colors. I can't say I have a particularly favorite color, but I do have. I tend to be drawn to gemstones, so ruby reds or bright reds, sapphire blues or bright aquamarine blues, emerald greens, that deep royal purple, fuchsias, magentas, the pinks, the hot pinks. So those colors I tend to be drawn to. Or neons, lime greens, bright yellows. So colors like that. It goes with my complexion tends to be more of an olivey than like a honey brown. You know, when I tan, I get more olivey color. Oh, I got a pain in my ankle just from sitting there. Work that ankle joint. Okay. Shades of gray, Christina? Yeah, many shades of gray. And also purple for you. Okay. Now I do also like the light, like one of my favorite flowering bushes is lilac. I love lilac. Here in the South, lilac doesn't do well. So I don't have any. I have azaleas, but I don't have lilac. I love lilac. It's not a dress. Somebody says show the dress. These are short alls. Very similar to overalls. However, they are shorts. Therefore, short alls, not overalls, but they are shorts. So, let's see. John just joined in. Thank you for being here, King. Thanks for liking my arches. Those served me well. I have high arches to my feet. Being a professional figure skater, I had the skates molded to my feet, And it definitely has a high arch in it. Ooh, big wasp outside the door. Note to self, don't go outside that door yet. A big old wasp came up to the screen. Thank you for my roses, EM. I do appreciate that. Thanks for Mario for joining N from Germany. You can certainly let me know where you're from. My hair color reminds you of someone that you know. It's just a brown with some caramel highlights to it. It's my color. When is my birthday? You just missed it. It was in June. I am on the cusp between Gemini and Cancer. So, astrology-wise. My favorite actor or actress? Well, I will tell you, if the movie has these people in it, I tend to watch them at any given time. I mean, the general ones that are out there: Jennifer Aniston, Adam Sandler, Vince Vaughn. I'll watch Tom Cruise, Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman, Charlize Theron, Demi Moore. Yeah, I'm trying to think of who are all-time favorites. I mean, I love like Clint Eastwood, and now his son Scott is doing that. Harrison Ford. Lots of great actors out there. But if I see them in whatever movie it is, I will take a look at, I might say, no, that's not really what I'm interested in, and then I'll look to see who's in it, and then I'll say, okay, I'll watch that. What's my education? Bachelor's in business and finance. So that's my background. I do also consult with some attorneys, forensic accounting, that sort of stuff, on the side. So you're getting a divorce and somebody's hiding the money. I find out where you hid it. Steven Seagal, yeah, I like some of his stuff. Some of his stuff is, some of it looks like he just took it to make a paycheck, and some of his stuff is good. So, but yes, I do. Steven Seagal is a decent actor. Charles Bronson, that's going older. Yes, good. I have a beyond real lifestyle. Okay, it's real life to me. I have a farm, and that might be beyond real life. I see that, but I get out into nature every day. I can walk around my farm. It's a hobby farm, so less than 10 acres, and I enjoy my life. I try to keep it simple, but I also don't mind having the toys, the side by the four-wheelers. I'm looking at them out the door. My pool, my hot tub, those all come from working hard, not hardly working. My locket. Someone is asking about my locket. It's not a locket, it is a charm. And it is a rose compass. Or sometimes it's called a nautical compass. So you can see it's just front and back. Somebody asked, how old I am. I am in my fantastic 50s. You saw the deck video. Thank you for liking this. I have put 1, 2, 3, 4 decks on in this property alone. The one of the guest rooms has its own private deck. The back porch has a deck. The front porch has a deck, and then the cabin also has a deck. Now the cabin deck is 16 by 32, so it is actually wider and the same length, so it has a bigger footprint than the actual cabin itself. The cabin itself is 12 by 32. I missed your question about the property. Sorry about that. Thank you for liking my hair, and Paul, I do appreciate that. If you write to me in Spanish, I won't understand you. I'm so sorry. Golden boy. Yes. Judy Garland, yes. Yul Brynner, Robert Downey Jr. Oh, Robert Downey Jr. Yes, I love Robert Downey Jr. What's my favorite food? Scallops. Scallops, I will, if they have diver scallops, not bay. I don't like bay scallops. Those get too rubbery too quick. Those are like a pan flash before they're cooked. Thank you for joining in, Tailgate Barbecue. So those are way too easy to overcook. So I do like correctly done diver scallops, the big scallops. And Canada, Merv, welcome, A. Go to Canada, A. I have been to Montreal and to Quebec City. Do I have a family and children? Yes, I do. If you write to me in another language, I'm not going to understand. You're like a guest in my home. You're very comfortable. Good. I want you to be very comfortable here, sitting here chatting with me. Hi there, Steve. Thanks for joining in. What state am I in? I am in Southeast Alabama presently. Yes, Canada. Yes, I have. That's it, though. I've never been to Toronto or out west. Only on the east coast of Canada. You prefer when I stand in front? Well, I'm sitting here relaxing with you. Christina asks if I'm a grandma. Yes, I am. So when people say grandma, I can't be offended by it. I am. Any regrets? No, life is too short to have regrets. Life is too short. Doesn't mean that you have things that you need to learn from. The way to look at that is, instead of being regretful about it, don't regret it. Take it as a learning experience and learn from your things that didn't turn out the way that you wanted them to, and then work forward to making steps to change that. That's all you can do, and live your best life. Why is that cup so big? You have me in my RV, so I try to get items that can have at least dual purpose to them. So this is a soup mug as well as a coffee mug. So I have just a couple of mugs in here, and the reason for that is so that if it's cold and I want to put hot cocoa or soup in it or something of that nature, I can pop it in the microwave and have it cook a meal for me. Or have it for my coffee. Thanks again for joining in. You've got, you learn from your mistakes in the hard way. Yeah, I mean, we all make mistakes. Every one of us makes mistakes. It's just what you do with that information. Do you harbor it? Don't harbor it that metastasizes. Don't harbor that. You have to let it go. Apologize for whatever it is. Own up to it. You make a mistake, own up to that. That's another thing. If I make a mistake, I have to say, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. That's on me. I made that mistake. I will absolutely own up to it. It's not somebody else's problem. It's my problem. And my mistake caused can cause a chain reaction. So when that happens, if you just say, oh, well, that guy did something, so I did something, that's not, own up to your mistakes. That's, and let it go. Own up to it, let it go, learn from it so that you can move on. Don't stay in the past. Don't keep rehashing it. It's learn from it and move on. So, jump while I'm sitting. If someone poked my sides, would I jump? Probably. Not probably. If I wasn't aware that they were going to do it and it scared me, yes. Hello, thanks for joining in to here. Thanks for joining in. You've got Mary Burke Live. I got a lot of new people joining in. Thank you for my hearts. I love when I get hearts. I love when I get gifts. So thank you, everybody, for joining in. I appreciate you being here with me on this Saturday morning. I'm broadcasting live from my RV. Waves for everybody. Yes, waves. It is going to be time for me to head out and start working with my wood. I have another full day of woodwork ahead of me, and I will have to be doing some sanding, some polyurethaning, and some nailing of wood. So I will be in the bunkhouse working on door frames and getting those up and in. All the work that you see around the bunkhouse when I broadcast from the bunkhouse is custom work. So I use cedar trim for my door frames, for the door jambs, for the thresholds. It's all custom work that I work. I cut the wood, I sand the wood, I poly the wood, I build the doors, sand and poly those as well, install them, put them on their hinges and get them installed. Flooring is Cali vinyl product. It is 100% waterproof, and the difference between waterproof and water resistant, in case you didn't know, water resistant is just that. It resists it, but it is not proof. So the tops and the bottoms are going to have a waterproof material on them. But the core, the middle layers, are either fiber or particle board in the middle. And that middle part is usually the tongue and groove, or the click part for your click and lock flooring. And the problem with that is the groove that is between your planks. Now, your planks aren't seamless. They're not seamless unless you've got a vinyl rollout. So when you have that gap, so again, if you have things that settle in the house or move or change, then those gaps will adjust. And especially with a floating floor, the floating floor is meant to move and adjust and everything else. So when that happens, if water gets down into that tongue and groove, your water resistant will wick up that water. And when it wicks up the water, it expands. So that's how you get your bubbles, your gaps, your and everything, and it will warp. So that's the difference between the water resistant products and the waterproof products. Waterproof will be consistent all the way through, and there is no material in it that will wick or warp. So there you have it. Hello from Alaska. Thanks for joining in, Robert. If you write to me in French, I'm not going to understand. Hi, John. Thanks for joining in. Hi there, Generous. Thanks for joining in. And my Spacer, thanks for joining in. Fernandez, thanks for joining in. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for being here and spending time with me today. I do appreciate when I have people that check in with me every day when I go live. I appreciate all my followers and supporters, as well as, my haters make the matrix go round. So it is what it is. So thank you for the chat, Cubs fan. Thank you. I'm sorry, I couldn't read your name. It was not highlighted well. So hi there, Joshua. Thanks for joining in. Thank you for liking my content. Thank you for being here. Make sure you hit follow. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining in. Hit follow, subscribe, join, comment. There was a comment that I just missed. Sorry about that. And that happens as people join in and scroll. It's going to scroll pretty quick. Newfoundland, Canada. Oh, you're Goofy Newfie. I do have some ancestry that passed through Goofy Newfie, Newfoundland. So from by way of England to Newfoundland, Newfoundland to Massachusetts, but they were early settlers of Massachusetts. That's my ancestry. So, yes, and then if you have questions on what different social media platforms I'm on, make sure you hit, when you go to my profile page, make sure you go to TheMaryBurke.com, because that'll show you all the different social medias that I am on. From France, thank you, moi. What's up? I am just recapping what has gone on for the last week here at the farm, as well as giving you updates on the master bedroom renovation. So it's been gutted, subfloor has been reinstalled, and the flooring is now in except for like 3 pieces. So when I'm done here, I will have to jog up there and put those 3 pieces in, because now that flooring has arrived and is back. I was 3 pieces short, so I had to have someone run out to the store and go get another box. Hi there, welcome from England. Thanks for joining in. Hello from Fresno, Sergio, or Cerrigo? Cerrigo. And then from there, I will start getting to the woodworking. Woodworking will be sanding, polyurethaning, and installing all the door frames. And then from there, hopefully later today, tomorrow, I will get to building the doors and staining the doors. So right now I only have 2 of the doors. I will have to purchase 2 more, but I don't want to do that until I get my tub, which might be later today, taking a trip to Lowe's to pick out my tub for the master bath. Hello there from Vancouver. Thanks for joining in. Is this about campers? I am broadcasting to you live from my RV, but no, this is not specifically about campers. My RV is located on the farm. I do have an RV pad so that I can broadcast live or be in the RV anytime that I need, or it's overflow for guests or what have you. But I do have Wi-Fi, electric, water, sewer out here at the RV, which is under the pole barn. The pole barn is about 60 feet long. It's not about, it is. It's 60 feet long, 40 feet wide maybe. It has an attached garage to it, so I can put vehicles in it. But the pole barn usually holds my toys, such as the side-bys and my dirt bike and the ATVs, 4-wheelers. And then in addition, it houses my Jeep and usually the tractor, but I've moved the tractor out, so I have a work location for my woodwork today. So again, I do appreciate you all being here. I'm probably gonna say goodbye in about, let's say 2 minutes. It is almost 11 o'clock here, my time, so I will be finishing the rest of this coffee and signing off for the day. So I hope that you guys will hit follow, subscribe, join, so that way that you can get the most up-to-date information from me, get notified. Oh, thank you, Michael, for my gift. I do appreciate my Community Fest gift. Yes, I do appreciate that. Thank you, and hearts back, everybody. Thank you. So if you have a question, now's your chance to ask. Yes, thank you. I saw a whole bunch of screens light up with hearts. I love that. So I hope that everybody has a fantastic Saturday. I hope that you continue to follow me on your platform, as well as across different platforms, because again, I do post similar but different materials on all different platforms. So you can see maybe part 1 on one, part 2 on another. Different stuff is there. So make sure you follow me on all my platforms, right? What state am I in again? I am in Southeast Alabama. I don't work too hard. Every day I work, so there's not a day that, and that's part of the consistency and working hard. That I every day. A farm doesn't let you, you know, I can't just say, hey, I'm not feeding the animals today. It doesn't work like that. So it is full time. Oh, speaking of animals, Stella wants to come say hi. So I will bring Stella in, say hi, and then I'll say bye. So hold on, everybody. Come here, Stella. Come on. Come on. You can come. Come on up here. Come on up and say hi. There's Stella. Nope, you can see her dirty paws. Hello, Stella. What have you been doing? What you been doing? You been out there having fun? Have you been tormenting Willow? She doesn't like it when I stop petting her. She tells me I need to continue petting her. Yes. Have you been good? Well, your ear's back. Now you need more love and more pets. Thank you so much for being here. Oops, I don't know. You put up a whole paragraph there. I can't follow that. So if you put the question up real quick again, but not a whole paragraph, I will definitely try to answer you, but it is going to be time for me to say goodbye and get to work. So I do appreciate you all being here. Make sure that you hit follow, like, subscribe, join, and then check my profile for TheMaryBurke.com. All right, everybody, enjoy your Saturday. Time for me to get to work. Bye, guys.